With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. Quickly coming to you today with a Redskins hypothetical. This is something I haven't heard reported on. Maybe I missed it. I don't miss much when it comes to this team, but it could have slipped through the cracks. But I was on Twitter, as I often am, and I was approached by a fellow Twitter verse member, and he hit me up, was like, yo, what do you think about a trade for Trent with fill in the blank? And I was like, whoa, that's sort of a bombshell. I didn't even think about that. And so I thought I would bring it to you guys and drop it on your lap, in your doorstep, and see what you think about this. And so here's the tweet that I received from the Battle Room, and it reads, from at the Battle Room 22, he says, at Louie T Network, Texans reportedly looking for a tackle in the Clowney trade. What do you think are the chances of the Skins flipping Trent to make that deal? And the first thing I said was, whoa, didn't even think about that and haven't heard anyone else talking about that. And when I look at a guy like Jadeveon Clowney and the talent that he brings to the table, the Texans are not sold on him as a football player in terms of him being elite enough to command a long-term deal, making him one of the highest paid players, if not the highest paid defensive player in the league. And while I get the apprehension there, the guy is a talent for sure, one that I would be willing for the Redskins to trade Trent straight up for. However, here's the caveat. In this trade, you got to think about it from a number of different directions. The first thing you got to think of is we got to pay Jadeveon Clowney if we were to trade for him. Like, this guy isn't even under contract as we speak right now, hasn't signed his franchise tag deal, which is why he isn't in camp with the Texans. And so if you trade for him, similar to the Antonio Brown situation, remember, everyone was talking about how great a deal Antonio Brown had, and if you trade for him, you got him under contract for 2 years at a really good price. And Antonio Brown was like, bro, I'm not playing under that contract. I need new money, and if you trade for me, you must know I want a new deal. And so it's similar in the sense that if you trade for Jadeveon Clowney, you got to pay this man. You're not trading for him. And I don't know where Trent's frame of mind is. And I don't know if you trade for Trent, you got to tear up his 2 years left on his deal, or you got to add to it and make it 4 years with more guaranteed money up front. I don't know if that's what he's looking for, or if he's willing to play under the final 2 years of what is a very affordable deal for what is a top 5 left tackle in this league at his age. I think that's a really good bargain for someone if you're able to get him for the remaining 2 years left on his deal. So I don't know if you got to rip up Trent's deal and give him new money, or add on additional years with additional money on the front end of a new Trent deal. Or you might just get him for the last 2 years that he has left on his deal, which is fine. Whereas with Jadeveon Clowney, you got to pay him. You've got to give this man new money, and he's looking top of the market edge rusher money. All right, so he's looking to be paid in the $100 million range. And obviously, we've seen a lot of pass rushers get paid a ton of money this offseason, from Frank Clark to DeMarcus Lawrence. He's looking for that kind of money. All right, Ngakoue in Jacksonville looking for that type of money. So I don't think the Redskins are looking to pay someone that kind of bread, especially not homegrown product. However, that's a really tempting offer, man. Really tempting offer when you look at the talent that Jadeveon Clowney brings to the table, and you add him to a defense that you think is already dominant up front. You add a Jadeveon Clowney on the outside opposite of a Montez Sweat, and I know you like, wait, what about Kerrigan? To hell with Kerrigan if you're talking about Jadeveon Clowney in terms of talent. I mean, we're not getting rid of Kerrigan, but just think of a defensive line that would feature Kerrigan, a Clowney, and a Montez Sweat. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So would you do this straight up? Trade Trent for Jadeveon Clowney? Now, let me throw this also in there. Bruce Allen is an asshole. And in trade discussions, you got to be an asshole sometimes. And in negotiations, you got to be an ass. And Bruce is the biggest of all asses that we know. And so Bruce is one of those types of people that we've heard, the Adam Schefter radio interview with Kevin Sheehan. where he's saying that, the Redskins have pretty much rebuffed anyone that is called inquiring about Trent. And there have been multiple teams interested, but Bruce has swatted all of them away. And he's like, hey, you can get a first and possibly like a sixth for Trent Williams right now. That's the value for him. And we've heard that Bruce has pretty much said, we're not taking anything less than a first, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't take anything less than a first either. But in this negotiation, because the Redskins have to pay Clowney and the Texans don't necessarily have to pay Trent, would Bruce then be an asshole and say, hey, we got to pay Clowney? So I don't think it's fair that we just give you a top 5 tackle in exchange for a guy that you don't even think is a top 5 edge rusher, and then we got to pay him on top of things. I want a second round pick in the deal as well, similar to the Champ Bailey, Clinton Portis deal, in which the Redskins, who I feel like got fleeced, because not only did you trade a Hall of Fame corner, you also threw in a second round pick to get a running back. Could the Redskins do something similar where they say, hey, it's not enough for just Clowney because I got to pay him too. I want a second rounder from you as well. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But what do you think? To hell with all of that. I'm convoluting the situation. Would you do Trent for Clowney straight up? I want to hear from you. Leave it in the comment section. I think it's a fascinating discussion and something the Redskins should entertain if they're willing to pay Clowney top dollar. That's something that they should be willing to listen to at least. At least entertain that, because offers like that don't come around very often. I know a lot of people that I've talked to about the Trent situation have said, I want something that can help us right now. I don't want a future draft pick. I want something in return now. Hell, Jadeveon Clowney helps now in 2019, and you might still be able to coop a second round or a third round pick in next year's draft as well. I'm just saying, would you do Clowney for Trent straight up? Leave it in the comment section. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to the Washington Redskins. I will see you guys later. I can't wait to read your comments in the comment section of this one. This one's a little spicy. I'll see you Thursday, preseason game number 2, at home versus Cincinnati. We're live on not just YouTube, but Facebook as well. I'll see you then. Have a good one.
Louie T.